So this session is about how system integrators can embrace and adopt no-code and see that as an additional opportunity to grow business. So I guess we'll start with a quick introduction. I will let those esteemed gentlemen to introduce themselves, and we will jump into the topic. Stefan, you go first.
I go first. Well, Stefan Duda, my name, from Germany. We're a Creatio partner since 2019. We are 500 people. Not everybody is focusing on CRM or low-code. Probably about 80 of them are, and we're spread out across Europe. So Switzerland, Germany, Austria, and so on and so forth. A lot of more countries to mention.
I'm Nizar Ghanam from BNB Lebanon, headquartered in Lebanon. And we are partnered with Creatio since 2019, I guess. And we have offices in Lebanon, Jordan, Egypt, Saudi Arabia, Algeria, Spain, France. So we are like more than 500 employees. We have like more than 3,000 customers. And we enjoy working with Creatio with all those features that we're seeing. And we have already some customers. And we'll be glad to share our experience as well regarding the integration or the low-code, no-code.
Yeah, that's cool. And we have a very international panel discussion now. We have really, and it's great because we'll be able to share this diverse experience. I guess the first question that I'd like to start with, when we talk to system integrators, we usually have one of two immediate responses about no-code. The first response is kind of, yay, new technology, new stream of revenue, let's jump into that, and let's try to understand how can I make money. The second is a little bit opposite. When system integrator gets a little bit uncomfortable saying, well, now if my customer gets all, like you guys are talking about the citizen development and empowering of those users, but my job is to support and provide needed services. So some people are not super comfortable with no code. I guess because you're partners of Creatio, I would assume you're super comfortable with that. But what was your first reaction when you hear about no code, and when you think about implication of that in your business? So what are your immediate thoughts? Nizar, do you want to start?
Usually when it comes to low code or anything like implementing like a project, for us we sell lots of services. So sometimes when there's like coding or developing something, so our project is bigger and the revenue is better for us. But also in the same time, the size of the deals, it makes us like think a lot about like from where we need to get our money. From the integration, from implementing like better system with like less time, and sometimes also when we go to customers, we have like customers like banking, insurance, big customers. Sometimes when we go and tell them about like the low code or no code or the simplicity of integrating or developing or implementing a system with low code feature, sometimes customers, they feel like this is maybe simple. It doesn't work in our environment. We have a complex workflows or whatever. So here we need to go and do some, let's say, education and to show our muscles in different stages. We show them the no code. We show the customer how we can implement like lots of processes with like minimum efforts. And then we show them the low code. With the low code that we need to put like some code or configurations or something like that, but we can also reach like a good achievement. We can do like lots of things. And also, and this is something very important for us, we need to show our customers our muscles as well. We show them lots of development and coding or whatever, but also with simplicity. We keep it simple. But we show them that in case we need to integrate any system with another system, that we can go deeply with the coding and we can do it. And then when we see like the full scope of work, what we do is like we always explain to the customer that maybe 80% or 70% of the things that you need, you can accomplish it with like no code at all. And maybe you need like 10, 15% with no code, like little configuration that you can do it in order to accomplish your goals. And in case you need like something deep integration, because we still have this when we implement, for example, things with banking, insurance. They have like different applications, and sometimes and most of the times, the core banking applications, they are complicated and they're not open as Creatio. So you need to build like a library or APIs or whatever, so we can show it like also in a simple way. So this way, we give a message to the customer that yes, we can do everything, but with the low code or no code application, you can minimize the time that you need to go live and keep like this 20% or 15% that it needs like extra efforts, that we're ready to give it to you at any time during the project. And this message usually, it helps us a lot to go and implement and to have a great feedback from end users.
That is smart. Stefan, what was your take?
Well, actually, as you mentioned, we have both voices inside our company.
Yeah.
One that are, like screaming and yeah, go, 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 because finally they can actually change something at the customer side. Like project managers and things like that, or business analysts, they're finally able to do something. Of course, the other persons, the developers, are like, keep that away from me. We don't want that. So it's a little bit of a challenge to bring those two together, but when they're working together, they can actually perform miracles. One other thing that we learned in regards of low code is that actually we have a separate department that is doing individual development, like from scratch up. And they're also now looking into low code applications to facilitate what they're doing, because they're thinking of, hey guys, why do I always need to, design UI? Why do I always need to program right management and all those kind of things when I have a low code application where it's already there, and then on top I'm just gonna put in my code, and give that to the customer. I'll be much quicker. Of course, it doesn't fit there's no one fits all, but there was also a reaction I found very, very interesting. And I wanted to add in regards of customers. In our region, how should I say, resources are very, very limited. Meaning that customers sometimes, they don't even bother if it's low code or no code, because they're totally going to say, hey, we don't have anybody that's going to take care of this application. Please do that for us. We don't even care. Meaning the argument that we're going to be faster and things like that is just counting to a little bit of a degree, because at the end we're the one that are responsible for the entire project and for everything that we are delivering. But on the other hand side, if you are approaching a customer that really inhales this idea that he is finally able to change things on himself, we are actually just part of their implementation team, meaning we're not delivering any features and functions. We're just delivering resources that are then being integrated into their team, educating them, bringing them onto the path, and maybe after a year we leave and they're fully off to go.
Yeah. I would want to follow up, and I have a provocative question for you, just to dive a bit. So have you encountered a situation when, for example, you show Creatio did a great demo, you show a professional services proposal, and then your customer tells you, well, wait a minute, we just seen it's no code, why do I need this amount, etc. So if you get those questions, so how do you work with that? How do you educate your customers on like where do those services lay?
Well, if you ever have had a look at the time spent when you're first kicking off a project, I would probably estimate that only 20% of the entire time of that project is on technical implementation. So it's really not that much of let's just say, not that much of a deal. What are you going to do there? The rest of the time is either figuring really out what the customer wants, what are his requirements, how does the process actually look like, because I haven't seen one single customer where I go into a workshop and he's presenting me a flowchart and says, hey, that's how my process is run, well, please implement it.
That was like in my imagination, that's how every German located company should do.
No, absolutely not. And I tell you one thing that we are very, very good in is there is not one single process. Every process has like 1,000 sub-processes, because for every bits and types there are things to do and things not to do. If you're thinking about the simplicity that we are sometimes receiving when we're going into an online shop or things like that, normally in B2B business, there is no such simple process as we are experiencing when we are buying something from a web shop. So it's always complicated. And that's the reason why when I get this question that you just asked, I'm just showing them, hey, those are the efforts that we're going to spend, and only this amount, this little amount, is actually for the technical implementation. The rest is just to figure out what you actually want.
And also, it depends on who you're talking with at the customer, because sometimes you talk like with the IT department or like the MIS department, and sometimes also the main stakeholders, they are present in those things. But when we go with the technical team, we feel like it's always, maybe it's in our region, they go and complicate everything. And they want to go like into details on every process, how you do this, how you do that, or whatever. I still remember we stayed like with one of the accounts in Egypt. It's called the Smart Village. We did like lots of POCs. We did like lots of integration. We did like lots of things. And in one of those meetings, the CEO of the company was present there. And my team started to do like this demonstration. And after like half an hour or maybe 45 minutes, I told them, look, stop. I felt like the focus was lost. And I just took like my iPad and I created a very simple form. It was like a request for leave or something like that. That we used to do it in our team. And my team was in Lebanon. So I did like one request, and I sent like a WhatsApp message, approve it, and I showed him like the routing, the approval, and everything in like 1 minute.
Yeah.
And that thing made him. He said like, stop. We will take this system. And he started to add to this system. Okay, with this form, we can do this, and that. At the end, customers, they know better than us what they want, and they have like lots of processes that they live with it like on a daily basis. But once you show it to the right people, the one that they take decision, and you prove what you do, I guess everything will go like faster.
You know what? I think that companies that can successfully implement projects in the Middle East can implement it absolutely anywhere, because it's a very, I got a little bit of experience working not as a project manager,
so
but
demanding.
yeah, it's a super demanding environment, but also it's a very kind of, once you completed something, then you need to redo. There are lots of different cycles. And then that if you've done it, then like any other customer would be much easier. My experience might be wrong, okay? Now, I guess as we are going into the next phase of the discussion, so obviously no-code technology is foundationally is different from packaged applications, right? Because with packaged applications, you're trying to kind of take what is there and somehow kind of customize it to the needs of the business. While no-code technology enables lots of imagination, creativity, all those kind of things. As you're embracing Creatio and no-code technology, do you happen to think about additional streams of service revenue that you can introduce in your company? Like what can you do besides traditional implementation that can add value to your customers and can bring some service revenue to you guys?
Yeah, for us, like with this new platform, we can sell like lots of services like education, training. So and in our market, like we have like also limitation with the engineers that can do like development and things like that. And now like all those big companies like AWS, I don't know, all of them, they're recruiting everyone. And even like they're taking like lots of from our resources, and they take everyone. And now we feel like with this low code and no code, we can hire maybe not computer science, like business. And we can train them on how they develop an application without the need to have them like writing codes.
So you're saying, if I've got it correctly, sorry to interrupt, but you're saying that the profile of people that you bring to your company has changed because, wow, that's
Yeah,
cool.
sure. And with this thing, it's like we can provide and we can sell like more training and more services, consultancy services. And we always like have like good developers. And what we used to do right now, we're selling our customers like a kind of assurance plan. And this one, it makes them, okay, go and do it like with no code, low code or whatever. But whenever you need us to do like any extra coding or integration or whatever, we sell them like, for example, 20 days or whatever over a year. And we have like prices for those services. So yes, with the low code, we're making even like money and revenues for us. And we have like more team that they can deliver those services. Instead of having like a developer certified or whatever, we spend like maybe 6 months to have them certified. Yeah.
Wow, that is interesting. Stefan, what about you? What are your thoughts?
I would say that, first of all, of course, marketplace. That's one of the things we're very, very, very deeply looking into. The second thing that we're actually thinking about is the infrastructure, how Creatio is actually placed, how it is organized, because there's a lot of things, for example, if you're looking into AWS or Azure, what other services there in there and that you can actually combine, and there's, of course, some, more regulated industries and so on and so forth, and you have to take care of those things. So those kind of things that we're looking in. Also, what you mentioned, education, that's also a big topic for us that we are currently looking into. And also, as mentioned, there's a lot of training, but also in regards of the approach that you're taking in regards of change management, because imagine, we learned a lot today that, such implementations can be implemented in 3 to 4 weeks, but now you're having like people behind that need to be educated, that, you have to take onto your journey, and it's much faster than with the other tools that they are seeing. So there's also the necessity to come up with other training methods, because when you're looking in the past, it was like, well, there's going to be this big conferences of all those sales guys, and then we're going to hold a training for 8 hours with this new application. But if you're thinking of that, every week or every day, there's going to be new functions being rolled out, you have to think of other ways how to educate the user that's actually using the application, because you're going to lose them otherwise.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I feel also like we need to educate the customers and the consultants as well, because lots of big customers, they're still relying on third-party consultants to write their RFPs, and they're still doing this like with the old method. So the more they know about like the no code, low code, and all those things, they maybe reshape their RFPs that goes like with what we do. Yeah.
Good stuff. And I have a couple of additional ideas. I think that marketplace is certainly a big revenue stream. And you know that in Creatio we have a very aggressive marketplace program where you can get up to 80% of revenue, specifically because we believe it's a really great revenue stream for our partners, right? When you can have product-related revenue, you can have service-related revenue, and you grow your business like from multiple directions. Then another thing that we have been discussing, and I really wanted to get your opinion about that, is with us investing into tools like No-Code Playbook, we anticipate that lots of our partners will start being no-code coaches for customers, right? So because right now there's a body of knowledge and there is a framework that you can use to educate customers to set up a right program internally to be able to use no-code development. And I remember my personal experience working, like going through an agile training, right? That was really fun, and we worked for, I would say, probably 4 months. It was, of course, a long time ago, but it was a very extensive platform, and our coach worked with us. No, I'm masking that. But we invested intensively into that kind of program, and I think that this represents a really great additional stream of revenues that you guys potentially can adopt. And finally, another idea, just probably to coming back to what we've been discussing on the first part of the like on the first question about like perception of this no code and low code, I think that I would strongly encourage you to educate teams is that the amount of use cases that we can bring for one customer is almost unlimited, right? Think about, yeah.
Yeah, I had an idea now
Yeah.
because we have also with BNB Group, we have a BNB Smart, a company called BNB Smart. And usually what we do at BNB Smart is we do like training. It's just only a company for education. Usually we train like kids from 6 to 16 years old on everything like robotics, all those like new technology, AI, whatever. So we started with this one. And now I have an idea, like since we have like this no code, so maybe we can bring those materials as well and put them like with what we do like at BNB Smart and start to teach our even like young generation, if they have any idea, they can implement it with a Creatio platform. So maybe it's also like it's a good start to start like introducing those ideas for the kids like from 6 to 16 years old. Yeah.
American Lebanese University in Beirut.
Yeah, yeah. Those are our customers. Yeah.
Yeah, might be a great place to start with. Absolutely, and we do. We also do have this university program where we work with educational organizations all over the globe with students. And some universities already have no-code classes on Creatio, so we're kind of creating this additional generation of no-coders. But it also has a really social mission, right? So when we think about no-code in general, we are trying to create additional workplaces for people because we have been discussing that yesterday with the team that right now if you go to the Glassdoor and some other sources, you start seeing job specs for citizen developer, for no-code developer, and you mentioned, Nizar, that the profile of people that you bring to a company has changed, right? So we, as a community, can work with creating, like helping people to get a new profession in Germany, in Egypt, or Lebanon, but have this kind of joint exercise. It probably will not bring a lot of revenue, but I think it will bring great social mission and also like further development of brand. So if you guys will be interested, we can certainly talk about that. It's a really nice thing to do. Okay. Sure. So just unpacking that, moving back to the system integrators view, right? So I wanted to talk to you a little bit more about roles within your organization, right? So as you started to embrace no-code technology, and Nizar already kind of alluded to that, did your role, kind of when you assign a team to a project, has it changed? And if yes, what kind of changes have you kind of go through? Nizar? Yeah.
Yeah, it's with the same ideas. So with those like low code, no code, yeah. So it's like the role. We can't say like it's changed, but it goes like with new things, with the new ideas, with new way of convincing customers to go with what we do. And we can give like lots of examples. One time also in one customer, we were like arguing about like how simple it is to create like forms or whatever. And it goes also with the same idea. I've told them, look, you go to Facebook or Instagram or whatever, you create your profile, you put like your address or whatever, you go and if you have a product to sell, you put it on the marketplace or whatever. So what you're doing here is like no code. You don't write any code and you are able like to provide something that it represents you or your business or whatever. So here, like as like integrator or a solution provider, whatever we have, whatever like new feature, new ideas or whatever, we can find a way to put it within like our portfolio and try to make it like to market it in order to serve the customer need.
Cool. Stefan?
Well, actually, we had to find developers that are socially presentable. Let me just put it that way, because the interaction with the customer is increasing. You know, and the entire time when you're thinking about prototyping, short feedback cycles, and so on and so forth. So you have to find people that are, well, you know, that understand the customer, that don't expect like a fully written requirement that can kind of think of into the business process, kind of, think into the customer's mind and adapt a bit and be a bit creative as well and communicate that correctly to the customer. That was a little bit of challenge, to tell the truth. Also from the other way around, when you're looking at from a project manager perspective, to tell the project manager that he has to come down a little bit, and also when he's at the customer side, doing a workshop or whatever, that he's capable of exactly doing like this, open up his notebook and do something, show something to the customer that he was absolutely at the, 2-4 years ago, he was not able to do so, but now he is, and he's supposed to do that. One other thing that we found out is that the mixture of team, or let's just say what we had to do actually was kind of also find people that are taking on specialties, because they're only in certain, let's just say in certain implementations you need only certain technical skills, but you need them as an integrator. In the past it was like there were like 10 people on the bench that have it, but we don't need those many people any longer. So now we are just having one and making sure that he, can work on his specialty and gets involved into all the project where he is needed.
You remind me of something like with the project management. They used to tell us, like, if you bring a nurse and you teach her how to do like project management and she can be certified, she can run and manage a construction project with like building with 10 floors or something. And now we can say, like, also if you bring a nurse,
if you've been to an emergency room and see how they work, absolutely, yes.
Exactly. So if you bring like a nurse and she knows like what's going on in her environment,
correct,
and you bring her like a no-code application, maybe she can write a better, or she can implement a better solution than us bringing someone technical that needs to spend time to understand what she's doing and whatever. So yeah.
Yeah, we actually have an idea for a YouTube channel. I'll share that with you afterwards, about how to take people like with that profession and kind of requalify them to new jobs and make a lot of fun out of it. I guess I have time for the last question, and we will have our application gallery session where Anna will be showing lots of different no-code apps built on Creatio, just to illustrate this breadth and depth of functionality. But I have a belief that a business of system integrators will go through a change, as it happens with all other businesses, right? So let's take a perspective of 5 years, probably will be not that much, 10 years, right? 10 years of perspective, and it's a lot of time. If you think about, we are now in 2022, in 2012, our work as software professionals was very different. Like like the technology, the evolution of technology, the capabilities that we now have is very different. Like, envision a world, and again, I'm not going to the script. I'm just keep throwing those questions at you guys. Imagine a world 10 years from now. What would be the most dramatic changes in the system integrator business caused by evolution of no-code? Stefan, you got in the meditation stage.
No, I'm not in a meditation stage. Actually, what I think in 10 years, probably AI and ML will be at that stage where you can actually just write down what you want. You don't even have to click into Designer and design your mask. Mm-hmm. That you probably just have to feed that in, and the system is creating it for you.
Correct.
So nobody has to sit there and create a mask or whatever. So the system will actually do it automatically. The biggest fear there is, and it's actually already happening as I'm seeing it, that people will lose a little bit of the ground basis of understanding what their system is doing. Mm-hmm. So sometimes, when you're talking to financial services, sometimes they don't even understand any longer how their algorithm is working in regards of risk management. That's something to fear. But if you're asking me what will be the biggest change, I think for us, it is important to be let me just say, the translator between business and IT. And I think we have to step into that role even more, because the gap of what people understand, what technology can do, and what their business is, this form of translation, we need to even get better into that.
Wow. Nizar?
Yeah, I can see something. I did like a kind of simulation because we work also with the AI and artificial intelligence and things like that. There are like now systems that they can replace 10 or 20 data scientists that they spend like 2 or 3 years in order to bring like a certain algorithm for a certain business. You can do it like in 1 hour. It gives you like different results with the best scenario that can work for your case. And it replaces, as I said, like 10 or 20 data scientists working like for years. And it gives you like the results, and it gives you like the prediction and the accuracy of everything that you're doing. It goes like with the old data, and it takes 25% of, it takes like 75% of the old data, and it applies them on the 25, and it makes it like, it shows you like how much it's accurate. Yeah. And regarding your question, what's is done in AI, and I guess AI is integrated with all application, it's gonna even like, maybe it's not 10 years, maybe it's like maybe 5 years or 4 years. We also work with the AR, VR, and we know like how much progress we're doing with the development. It's amazing. It takes you from one place to another while you're sitting there and putting this thing on your eyes. So yeah,
I have an image of
technology is going very fast.
Skynet. I agree with you. I think that there are a couple of dimensions and trends to consider. The first one is that, I think the role of implementer and a service provider will be moving towards facilitation, orchestration, ability to foresee and resolve conflicts versus kind of doing a lot of work. And I'm also a strong proponent of AI-assisted development, right? So stuff that can be customized and configured will be configured with very limited human support. But now, the reason why we have this statement of freedom to create, because the creative part is something that you cannot replicate, at least now. Like right now, it's difficult to understand like how to use an AI or other sort of technology to do this creative part. So I personally foresee that you guys will have much more creative, lots of creativity in your profession, which is fun. I think that the profession will
even the customers, they're gonna have like a solution that it looks like them. It's like their identity with this freedom to create. Even if we are creating or they are creating, it's like customized for their needs, and this is the beauty of this software.
Thank you. So that was a great discussion, guys. Let's give a round of applause. I know everyone is already a bit tired, but thank you to Nizar and Stefan for the discussion.